exposed properly for you to color grade and log. I would just aim for that early morning or that sunset, which would be perfect. So yeah, if you don't have that high end of a camera, I would say just aim for the daylight shoot as much as you can until you start getting some bigger budgets. Now you will run into some spots where you need some artificial light. If you're shooting indoors, for example, or if you're outside, for me with the FX3, if you are shooting on a higher end camera that can do a little bit more of that low light stuff, it's also nice just to light up your subject a little bit with light. This is one of the lights that I use, just a super small lume cube. Yeah, if you just need a little bit more extra lighting for a part of their face or to backlight them, say one of those lights can be super handy and they're not too expensive either. In running gun shoots, you will have to adjust your settings quite frequently with different lighting scenarios, different compositions, different angles. But that's why one of my most important gears is a variable ND filter. So get you a variable ND filter and get you a good one. I would say don't cheap out on these things because it will have a lot of vignette in the corners. I have the Nisi 1 to 5 stop. This is a very good variable ND filter. Not much of vignette. You can't really escape it on these circular ones. So it's the best you get. It's also true color too, so you're not losing any of those true colors when you're doing the final color grading. It's absolutely a must to use a variable ND filter. Don't want to be cranking up that aperture too much in these cinematic type of running gun music videos. You can, but I wouldn't say too much. It would just be nice to have a variable ND filter. Shooting these performance scenes, one little thing is that you should have a good speaker for these artists to actually hear the music and be able to perform properly. This allows absolutely no room for any error and just keeps both of your guys' lives simple. Another thing I would add is if you have some more time, I would make sure to get some multiple takes in there just so you can have something to play around with in the edit. Usually per location or per like scene, I'll grab a couple camera angles, especially if we have the time. It just makes it so much more worth it and just adds a lot more layers and depth to your video. Now, one of the other reasons that you want to get multiple takes is it leaves no room for error. The last thing that you want to do is be calling up these artists looking for a pickup day where you guys shoot some more. It just is a waste of time, and it can also look a little bit more unprofessional on your end. This is not the worst thing in the world. This does happen sometimes. I would say just make sure that you're getting everything done for that artist so you don't have to come back, especially if they're paying you. Make sure you are keeping it moving on these running gun shoots. It's such a nice feeling to have a diversity of shots in the edit, and especially in the final video when you're able just to look like you're jumping from location to location even though you're almost in the same area. It just looks a lot more pleasing to the viewer in the end. It doesn't look like you guys just filmed this in like 10 minutes or so. It looks like you actually put in some passion to the project.
Vejo dominó na esquina banguelo sorrindo de alegria.
Now, onto one of my favorite parts of the running gun process is getting the B-roll. B-roll is drone shots, shots of cars moving, shots of the artist doing many movements. And this is very important because you don't just want a video that is completely performance-based. Sometimes this can work, but for the most part, to spice up a video, you want a lot of B-roll and type of shots that you can use. One of my favorite ways is to get B-roll through drone footage. That's what we did with the shoot in the city with Key. As you can see my screen right here, we got a lot of these drone footage, a lot of buildings, plays in with the atmosphere and the location of the performance scenes. Now, when you're getting B-roll, you want to really just make sure you're capturing the atmosphere and really building a story around your video, even if it's just a simple running gun. To do this, just film the environment, film what's interesting, use slow shutter, use different certain effects that you can use in your editing process. Get up close and personal with people's hands, props, any other things that might be going on in the environment around you. One thing that I struggle with, but one thing that I want to get more better at is getting B-roll of the artist, actually doing different types of movements, such as maybe hand signals or maybe a dance or some sort of movement that we can play with in the edit. But one of my favorite ways to do this is to have an artist just move around a lot in a static frame, just so I can do a quick snappy cut back and forth from one position to another. One of the reasons we go back to pre-production is just feel that song, so when you're out there in the field shooting the B-roll, you know exactly what to get that matches the song's vibe and the pacing. And in the edit, you'll have a little bit more room with it. If it's more high energy of a song, you can do these quick snappy cuts, or if it's more slower pace, you can do slow match cuts, or anything that's more static or just gives more of an atmospheric vibe. Okay, for this video that me and Key just shot, we were going to keep the editing very, very simple. I knew that when we were going into it. Didn't want any crazy fast-paced cuts or anything. I just wanted to keep it very simple because that's what we were out in the city to do. It was also very cold, so me and Key didn't want to be out there too long. Now that we're into the editing part, I already edited this full video, but I thought I would give you one little glimpse. Very baseline stuff, but I want to keep this video like that and just give as much information as I can. You want to make sure your cuts are on beat with the rhythm of the song, where like the beat drops and stuff, or else it's just going to give a very flat feeling to your video. It's not going to feel very professional. The pacing is going to be off. But with the intro of this song, we started with drone shots. I did a cut on every 4 of these little bass drops. There was a lot of like dumps in the beat or whatever, and I just cut on those mostly. So every 4 of those I would cut. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Play with the rhythm a little bit. There was some where they would jump quicker, but for the majority part, it was every 4 beats. So this one was quick. There we go. And then if you can see the performance scenes as well are on beat. Beat drop right there. We cut to the other part using just a little transition that we use with our hand movements to there. Beat drop. Even the beginning performance, he was on the beat drop. Right on the beat drop again for that second part. And then again, playing with this last video I did with FemDot, if you see some of the B-roll and the jumpy fast cuts, it was through a little beat swap. So I did it on the beat, and then you see as it cuts at the end. Quick, fast-paced B-roll cuts are great to enhance the song's energy and video, but don't be afraid to slow them down a little bit more. This will allow you to tell more of a story, and that's what I did in this music video here with Key. Now, one of my absolute favorite parts of the video, and where everything just really comes together, is the color grading process. You should already have a look that you're going for before you even shoot. I usually lean towards the more vintage, film grainy style with more pastel colors, and that's kind of how I keep most of my videos. On the video me and Key just shot, I wanted this one to feel as high quality as possible. I didn't want any grain in it. Most of it was filmed at 800 ISO besides the night scene, so I was able to keep 0 grain in it. That's also another thing I did on the FemDot video, was I kept that 4:3 aspect ratio. For this, I just kept the normal 16:9 aspect ratio. Even through the aspect ratio, it really can just play a huge role in your video's feel. Why I chose that 4:3 ratio for the FemDot video is because it just gave it that filmic look and really brought it to life. And then the 16:9 really gives it more of a modern feel. Over a long period of time of just doing it consistently, you're going to develop your own style. You're going to find what works for you and what doesn't work for you. But anyways, guys, I just want to thank you for reaching all the way to the end of the video. If you did, run guns can be a super fun way to test out your creativity, and you'll be very surprised with how nice of shots you can get without big rigs or any complex shots. Say for most of the running gun style, just keep it simple. Really feel out the song and the mood that it's giving. And yeah, I would say that's probably one of the most important things, is just staying focused on the energy and the vibe of the music, and you're going to be golden. Over time, you're going to get better and better. Leave a comment down below what your favorite part is and what you would like to see from me next. Thank you.
Alright, so stay on beat. That's what I picked up off that one. But you don't know these things until you start. You know what I'm talking about? Da Vinci.
Just simple, clean music video transition you can make within DaVinci Resolve.
I heard of Da Vinci, I just can't do it on my laptop because it's so old.
Sort of.
But yeah, you don't know it until you start
Hey
learning.
guys, and welcome to yet another Monkey Pixels tutorial. My name is Damien Cooper, and today we're talking about the basics of shooting and editing a music video.
1, 2, 3, listen.
Music videos are really fun to shoot, and there's so many ways you can go about it. But in this video, I will talk about the basic 101 of shooting music videos. Just how to set up on set, as well as how to quickly edit those in post-production. And I'm not talking about creating an entire short film or having huge sets. I'm talking about more of the performance shot sides, and on top of this, you can basically do whatever with it. We've recently shot a music video here in Vienna for a new upcoming artist, and we wanted to keep it rather simple and just have a couple of different cool performance shots and just throw in a B-roll here and there. And in this video, I will show you a couple of quick tips how you can actually set up your shoots on set, as well as how to edit them in post to make this a really easy process. On top of that, you can obviously just go crazy, but these are the fundamentals that I will show you in this video. So here's the way we do it. We usually have a couple of different locations, and this could be indoors, outdoors, day or night, it doesn't really matter. And you can go as many as you like. You can have one setup, but you can also have 50 if you wanted to. One thing that is really important is that you have at least one base performance shot that you can always rely on and always cut back to if needed. So the one thing you need to do is you need to have the artist sing the entire song from start to finish, and you're also really good off if you have the artist in focus and in frame throughout the entire shot. You can use a tripod, you can shoot handheld, or you can use it on a gimbal, that doesn't really matter. And here's the one thing that is the most important for this tutorial to work. And this is to have the song that you're actually going to use in the edit later play throughout the entire song on set. You can have your artist lip sync to it or just sing along with the song. And I recommend the latter because lip syncing oftentimes doesn't really look realistic. So have the artist sing along to the actual song while playing it on set. And the second thing for this to work is that you actually need to record scratch audio. You don't need to record a really great audio source, so probably the internal microphones of your camera are just fine. But you need to record the audio for the entire duration of the song. And now you can repeat the process as often as you like. You can change different outfits, different locations, or what we like to do is on the same location, we like to shoot one wide angle as well as one close-up to be able to mix it up in post. And now that we have all these different kind of performance shots, we need to take them and bring them into our editor. And our editor of choice is, as always, Final Cut Pro 10, but the technique that I'm about to show you also works in DaVinci Resolve as well as in Premiere Pro. And the technique that I'm about to show you is called a multicam sequence. And this is such a powerful tool and it makes your life so much easier when working with music videos. But before we start a multicam sequence, I do one thing to make my life even easier, and that is name every different kind of scene that we shot on set. So for example, in this video, I named a white car, close blue, white, red. You get the idea. Yes. So now that we defined all our different...
No, we're not working with that software. Alright, that's pretty much it, man. That's the episode.